Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. We're here for another match preview, and I'm here with a special guest. It's Together BHA. I think is it a channel on Twitch? I believe, is it?
Just about everything, mate. Yeah, it's a podcast. But I air all of my podcasts live on Twitch. I think you're doing it right now on YouTube, right? Like a YouTube
Yeah,
live.
YouTube. We're doing YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and Facebook as well.
Yep. So same kind of thing. Yep.
Oh, wicked. So, yeah, thanks for coming on as usual. And links in the description below if you want to subscribe to his channel on Twitch as well as his socials. So, but yeah, everyone get your comments in at the same time and get your questions in. And yeah, just I'll start off with sort of the main talking point really, because obviously like as Arsenal at the minute, I'm Arteta out for
Okay.
a main reason, and one of the managers I've been looking at is Graham Potter as a potential manager, because we're not going to probably get the big name manager in the position we're in. So, but I've always rated his football, and I just wanted to know from a Brighton perspective how do you rate him as a manager?
He's awful. You don't want him. Definitely don't want him. Yeah, you should just definitely move on. He could just leave him to rot in Brighton for the next 5 years. Like, you don't want anything to do with him. No, but genuinely, his name is starting to get bandied around for Tottenham as well. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later because he is very good at what he does. I think that it's probably a year too soon before he starts really getting on the move. I don't think that Spurs will go for him this year. And I don't think Arsenal would either if they got rid of Arteta. But he's a superb manager. I mean, a lot of people are saying that, well, how good is he? He's done no better than Chris Hughton. If anybody has watched us from the Chris Hughton days to now, you can see the entire culture of the club has changed. We've gone from one of the oldest starting 11s to one of the youngest. We've gone from a team that were kind of relying on has-beens and players that have been around for a long time to, relying on people coming straight from our youth academy, these kind of Moneyball signings that we've made, like Bissouma, who is obviously probably going to be part of that conversation later too, Lamptey as well, Ben White. He's relied on these people and has been brilliant at developing them. So yeah, for me, I will be absolutely gutted when he eventually leaves. But I agree with Pep in that I truly do think he's the best English manager at the minute, and I think any club would be lucky to have him.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. I just feel with the way he is at the Brighton at the minute, I just feel that he needs. Do you feel like he needs that striker? Because you've had a lot of opportunities, like in when you play games this season, that not that cutting edge to be able being clinical enough to put them away. And I just feel that if he had got a good, really good striker in the summer, and this is probably why he might want to stay as well. If he got a really good striker, I think he would leapfrog Arsenal where we are at the minute. We're a catastrophe, right? And I would, yeah. So I would definitely, I would, yeah. So what would you say? Would you say that you need that main striker for you, or do you feel that he needs to be looking at other areas as well?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I mean, there are always going to be things that we can improve outside of, the obvious. But, the other things we need to get better at are just really providing quality depth, right? So you've got like wing backs, Tarek Lamptey and Solly March are both excellent, but they both got injured. So without them, we've had to rely on people that maybe aren't as happy playing at wing back. Dan Burn has done a good job, but how viable is Dan Burn long term as a 6'7" centre half to keep playing left wing back? Joel Veltman has been excellent, but again, he was a centre half primarily at Ajax for the last 8 years. How good, he's not naturally a right wing back. I think we need depth at wing back. I think if Bissouma was to go, we need to decide whether we are going to go with Moda and Caicedo as options to replace him. But that striker is the one that we need. Absolutely. We need there's multiple players that people are looking at. I've got names in my head that I would love us to go for. I think every Albion fan has many of them. But yeah,
what would be your ideal option for you?
My ideal option is not one that's very common for others. Paul Onuachu. He currently plays at Genk. He's a 26-year-old Nigerian. He's 6'7", and he's scored 33 goals in 35 games for them this year. Okay. Outrageous goal to game ratio. He's played with Trossard in the past, who's obviously a good player for us, because we signed him from Genk. And I think we could probably get him for 20 to 30 million. So that would be my hope. I know a lot of fans, if Brentford don't go up, they want Ivan Toney. I can definitely understand that too. But for me, it's the big man, the big Nigerian, Paul Onuachu for me.
Yeah. I'd say if this is Brighton, I've got to pay this.
Mopo, you're an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat. I hope Brighton get relegated.
I couldn't help it. That's how he feels about Mopai. I'm not that hatred of him, but I don't know. What did you make of that whole incident? I mean, when you watched it, did you feel he did anything wrong, or is it just Arsenal complaining and moaning too much?
Mopai, first and foremost, is a wind-up merchant. There's no doubt that's what he does. That's part of his game. He's a very calm fella off the pitch. And he says that to get ready for the game, he reads and stuff. But there's no way that, he's just a wind-up merchant. That's what he does. He winds people up. He's similar to Ashley Barnes in the way that he winds people up. These players, Jamie Vardy even is very good at it, winding players up. And that's what Mopai did. And he seemed to absolutely get Arsenal, all of their players, absolutely hammered. I don't know why they bit so easily, Guendouzi especially. I truly don't think he went into Leno with an intention to injure him. I think it was clumsy, but I don't think he intended to injure him, because he's played almost every game this year. He played every game last year. I've watched him play, 100 games for Brighton almost, and he's just not that type of player. He's an arse, but he's not dirty. So I think that it was just one of those things where they took it a bit overboard.
Yeah, definitely. Brit with a super chat. Cheers, Steven. Hope you're, mate. Really, really appreciate the donation. As of course, all the donations will go, proceeds will go to Children's Disease Foundation. So big up yourself for that. And you get one of these.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Unbelievable, Jeff. I gotta find a better version of that one. But yeah, thanks for the donation. Really, really appreciate it. But yeah, it's I mean, Basuma. We mentioned Basuma just earlier, and Basuma obviously with Arsenal, and there's heavy links with him to Arsenal, and he's my ideal choice. I'd love to see him next to Partey for me, and I just would rather some sort of background as from the way he's played this season, the way he's played his football at Brighton, and would he be the perfect fit for Arsenal in that centre midfield?
I honestly, and for the last couple of years, Lewis Dunk has been very high on a lot of teams' list. There's been a lot of people saying that they want Lewis Dunk at Chelsea, Lewis Dunk at Arsenal, Lewis Dunk at United.
Well, I think with Arsenal as well, because it's just because we're out of European football, so we're not going to be attracting the big players that we might be the third biggest club in the country, but we're not acting like one. So unlike Man United, where they've got that Man United pool, it's Arsenal don't have that. So we're going to be looking at players like maybe a Dunk, maybe a Basuma that are young and can develop into a talent.
Yeah. So with Dunk, while I understand why he would be wanted by teams, and I genuinely, with Maguire hurt, I genuinely think he should make the England squad. I don't think he will, but I think he should. But Bissouma, for all of my love for Lewis Dunk, he's just an absolute Albion legend. Bissouma is a level above everybody else at that club currently. Bissouma is going to be world class, whether it's with us or whether it's with someone else. Adam Novis, I see, put in the chat, do you think he is better than Partey? I know that he was asking you, but yeah, I do think he is. I think he's worth more than Partey, actually. And I'll tell you why. He's the same kind of age, and although he doesn't have the experience that Partey has at higher levels of football, he has 2 to 3 years of Premier League experience, and that is very tough to get. You brought in Partey from Atletico. He's been, however good he's been. I've not been watching a lot of Arsenal, but this is a player that has a lot of experience in the French Premier League, in the top division, and then he knows how to play 2 very different styles of football under Chris Hughton and Graham Potter, and that kind of experience, because for most players, as well as I do, you never know if they're going to make the jump right from a different league to the UK, because it's such a different change of pace. And Bissouma has done that, and he's now starting to really flourish. And I genuinely think that every single team in the division would have a case for starting in every single one. And I include Manchester City and Liverpool in that. I think he would have at least make a case for starting. So yeah, he's going to be just unbelievable, whoever he goes to.
Yeah, that's I think I think Adam makes a very good point. You can get into any of all the other Premier teams. I feel that. I think like maybe Man City, for example, they might have him as a sort of a squad player because the amount of depth they do have. But I mean, for Arsenal, he'd get in next to Partey easy. I mean, you've seen our midfield without Partey, it don't exist. And the only thing I'd say with Partey is that, and I can get why people say he's got the Premier League experience, and that's probably why he's worth more, and I get that. The thing that I've seen with Partey this season is he's never played fully fit. He's played that few games when he's come in where he's been fully fit, and once he's picked up that injury, he was then rushed back from the North London derby, and then obviously we had that strange incident where we're going to push him back on the pitch and then injure him a bit more, right? Because that's Arteta, right? And then he's out for 2 months, and again it's been rushed back, and he's never had the chance to just let him just get fit. And he's never been, I feel, fully fit. Though when he has played, he's been better than pretty much every midfielder we have. So that for me, what I'd love to see is Partey when he is fit. That's what I would love to see. And what I'd love to see is then Bissouma on next week, because I think not just the fact that Bissouma has that Premier League experience, which Partey might even learn off Bissouma. Bissouma can also learn off how to play at sort of maybe the European level. And
I was going to say they probably have a lot to learn from each other. I mean, yeah, I agree. You've got a seasoned Premier League midfielder, only 24, who is going to play the style that Arteta wants to play. And you've got Partey, obviously, who has played at the very, very top level. So, I mean, yeah, I think that they would obviously have an awful lot to offer each other if they were to partner up in midfield. Yeah, I mean, even when you look at the other teams, Manchester United, Scott McTominay and Fred, swap either one out for Bissouma, and he can take over either spot, be much better than them. I think the only one that he might struggle to get into is probably Liverpool, just because of Henderson and Fabinho back there are both very good. But even then, he's just a different class. He is just, watching him is it's just insane to think that he plays for Brighton. Really, when I first started supporting Brighton, we were in the old Division 3 and struggling to survive. And watching a player like Bissouma play week in, week out is just unbelievable. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I love when I do sort of previews with smaller clubs like Brighton and that. I mean, my aunt and uncle live the Finland Valley, Worthings, literally about 10 miles away from the stadium itself. So I've been to Brighton, the shopping centre, and trust me, I'm not driving in there again. Fuck that. Let's just say that. But what I will say is that what I love about the small clubs when they make it to the Premier League, like Bournemouth, for example, as well, is that when the fans are there, then you always feel like, as an Arsenal fan, why am I moaning? Like, you're still in the Premier League, you're still playing in the biggest league of all. You're guaranteed to be in the Premier League, biggest Premier League of all. You're the third biggest club in the country. You've won all these trophies, right? Yes, your times are hard, but they've had times where they could be facing extinction, let alone relegation. So you do feel guilty in a way, and so it's just like to say that what we're seeing is that for what we've seen out of Arsenal for so long, and what everyone expects of Arsenal, because everyone has their own expectations of a certain club, it should be so much better. And with the squad we've got, we should be doing so much better. Because
I
that's not
agree
a
with
bad
you.
squad. And that's I think the one thing I try and say is that we are grateful we're always grateful for what we've got and what we've done and what we've won and everything like that. But for an Arsenal's fans' point of view, we should be doing a lot better than we should.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things, right? Like, if you're, and this is like much wider scope, but like if you're born to a rich family, like, and you have to, someone loses their job and you have to give up a car, like you're suffering hard times. But if you grew up in poverty and you're struggling, like not having dinner is hard times. Like, it's always subjective depending on where you've been. And for Brighton now, we've only been in the Premier League 4 seasons, but even now, like, there's that little bit of restlessness. Like, we should be better because we're one piece away. Like, we know that if we sign the right striker, we can genuinely be a top 10, top 12 side. And for Arsenal, when I was growing up, when I was 13, 14, I mean, I was still a Brighton fan, but I loved the Arsenal style of football. I loved Thierry Henry, Bergkamp, Pires. Like, I loved that team, the Invincibles. And when you're growing up with those and you're now going through what you're going through, I can easily understand why you would have a lack of patience.
I mean, that's all I've known. I mean, I've only known like what I grew up in Wenger's era. I was born in '94, so by the time I started knowing football, it was already under Wenger. We'd already won probably the double, so that's all I've known. So then, so obviously when times like you've gone for 9 years without a trophy and stuff like that, is then you realise then, okay, what this ain't supposed to be right. What's going on here? And it's just but the problem is just there's so many different factors with Arsenal in a minute. And it's like one of the talking points, like, oh god, here we got to go about Arsenal again. Every time we mention about Arsenal, it's got to be about a 2-hour conversation about what's wrong. That's what's wrong with the club, and it's like from top to bottom, because it's rotten from top to bottom, and it's what I always said it is. It's from the top, you've got no ambition, then that follows down into the board because they don't need to. All they care about is making profit. They don't care about ambition for the club. Then that filters down to the manager because the manager just says, "I need to get this position just so they can make whatever, right, and not actually win anything. And if anything else is a bonus." And then it filters down to the players because they're like, "Well, we've got what we need, so why do I need to play? I don't need to play anymore." And it's and what's worse is that the more they've managed to still make profit, though we're going further down the table, the worse it's getting. And I find that a lot with Arsenal now. It's how funny is that we get knocked out of the European competition. We just needed one goal out of that whole game, and the next game they're battering the team 3-1. then it's sort of just like, and then they go and play Chelsea, who are in a Champions League final, and they beat them 1-0.
But that's kind of, we love that though, right? Like that's the Premier League. That's football at its best. But it must be frustrating.
It is, and I'm sitting there like I'm tearing my hair out, and I'm like, "You're doing this now. Where have you been all season?" Right?
Yeah. I mean, for the Albion, we've beaten Liverpool this season. We've beaten Spurs this season. We just beat Man City. I know that there was nothing really to play for, but that was probably the same 11 that will be playing in the Champions League final for the most part. So they were pretty strong. And, you know, we beat them all. We've taken points off of all of these teams. And yet I think we've only taken 1 point off of the bottom 3 this season. We've lost to West Brom. We've lost to Sheffield United. We've lost to Fulham. So yeah, like I think we drew with Fulham, but like it's frustrating at the best of times because you think, you know, we can get some points against the bottom 4 or 5. We're in the middle of the table, but it's just, that's kind of what we love about football, I suppose. That's what I tell myself anyway.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, I'm looking at the previous game we played, and that was like a very difficult 1-0 win at your ground, and it's
I
weird.
think that
because,
was around Christmas too, as well, right?
Yeah, it was around about Christmas. It was 29th of December, New Year's, and we did well. I'd say we did well. The draw was probably the fairer result, in my opinion. I don't think we really deserved to win the game. We had a couple of clear-cut opportunities, which one was put away. But apart from that, we should have really drew that game with you. And to be honest, since then we've been a bogey team as well. Because last season you beat us home and away. So that's why when playing, and even Brighton the season before, we just needed to win that game to be able to get top 4, and we couldn't get it. So it's playing Brighton at the minute for us is not ideal, and apparently this is like weird a notion that we could get Europa Conference League, and someone saying is that you got to be grateful that like some clubs will die to be in the Europa Conference League. Probably such as yourselves, and you're sitting there as an Arsenal fan and you think, but that's not Arsenal. Arsenal shouldn't be at that level. They shouldn't be there. The amount of money that's made and the amount of money that we spend and spend in the wrong areas, though, we shouldn't be fighting for a Conference League.
Yeah, I can understand that. No, I mean, you're right. Like,
and to be fair, if I
a lot of money.
And the thing I feel is that with Arsenal at the minute, if I look at it and I want to look at Arsenal and want to see them improving, I'd rather them take a step back and rather just stay away from the Champions or the Europa League in a minute. Because we're not going to win it, so just take a step back and then go forward from there. So I'd rather just not be in it, so then we can just so we can actually improve in the league, because our league form's atrocious. It's all over the place. So, but I mean, Brighton, I feel. What do you feel Brighton needs to push itself back up to the top half? Because I think you were top half at one point, one season, weren't you?
I think at the end of the season we've never finished top half. But you know, it's what we were talking about at the beginning. Striker. We just need someone who can put the ball away. Because if you get that, the rest will come. You know, I think in the league, I think there's only maybe 3 or 4 teams that have conceded less than us all season. Like that's obviously very good. If you are, let me see. Yeah, you've got 4 or 5 teams: City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and United that have conceded less than us this season. And you know, we're tied up with Spurs and Everton as well. when you look at those things, that you just think we're so close to, we're just goals away from being a team that looks like they belong in the Premier League. So yeah, striker for us. We're already on 41 points, which is the most we've had in the Premier League. So I'll be if we can take anything off of you tomorrow, I'll be very happy with it, because that's progress again. Especially with the lack of spending that we had last summer. We didn't spend anything. We spent 900 grand on Joel Veltman from Ajax. That was it. We didn't spend anything else, and we sold Duffy, Montoya, and a fair few other players to try and keep our heads above water with the pandemic. So
hopefully next season then you'd be able to spend a bit more, because that hopefully should be like the end of it, and we should be back away from the pandemic, and we can have stadiums maybe not full capacity, but at least over half capacity, and then take it from there. And that way, more of it. I mean, you can see it with Arsenal, is that the way we've been making money is like at one point we had more kits than new kits released than we had wins, and it was that bad because they couldn't make money off ticket sales because we've got the most expensive tickets. But I feel, do you feel that you'd be able to spend a bit more this summer?
I think it depends on what we sell, really. If we do sell Bissouma for 50 odd million, how can we not be? I'm sure that we'll be reinvesting that kind of money. We've got one or two out of contract. We'll definitely be looking to offload a few more. David Proper will be leaving. There's a fair few that could be gone, that will, garner decent fees. Proper will probably go for 5-7 million. Ali Reza and Bakshmi will go for 5-7 million. Lacadia could go for 2 or 3. They all add up. And I think, with the big one for Bissouma, because I think it's inevitable that he's going. Where he goes is like you pick a card, any card. I think it could be anyone. But I think he's definitely going to go, and with that kind of money, it's going to be reinvested. Tony Bloom is not an idiot. He's a Brighton fan through and through. He knows he's not blind. He's watching the same games we all are. So I have full faith that he'll be reinvesting that money.
At least he knows when you're playing, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that goes into the whole American ownership problem that we had just a couple of weeks ago with the European Super League, of course.
Yeah.
And this beloved franchise model that they wanted to try and push onto the European football. So
yeah, because obviously, like, I'm going to support that absolutely, and turn the working turn everything that we hold as a heritage as an Arsenal, being a working man's club, to absolutely nothing. And I definitely do not agree with that statement whatsoever. It should have been top 6 minimum, right? And that's just a requirement, right? And right, wonders is if you got as third, right? But yeah, that Super League was just part of me was tearing up, because like for me, I'd have to walk away from my club. I couldn't support my club through that, right? Why could I? And it just shows to me the last few weeks the way we've, throughout this season, we sold 56 staff to get Willian. We tried this Super League. We've thrown everything away in terms of football, and we've got a manager who's too inexperienced, and nothing's really changing or improving. It's just like the whole DNA has been taken away from Arsenal, or anything that I loved about it doesn't exist.
yeah.
I mean, my match reaction for Villarreal, I just said, as it stands at the minute, the way the club is at the minute, I hate it. I can't stand it. It's not the club. It's like someone's taken the badge and put it on another club that I don't know. So it's awful to say, but it's true. And guy, no, I ain't bolting a new kit. I ain't buying a new kit. He can buy a new kit, right? He can buy his new kit. they'll probably spend money and that, like, they'll stay in the league. I ain't buying my new kit. I am not buying a new kit. I've already said you'd have to donate 100 quid super chat to get me to buy that kit and put SFeatleyTV on the back of it. I am not buying it. I am not buying it. That's an end of it. But yeah. So do you want to? So if Graham Potter in the future does go, who would you? Because you said obviously at some point he will go. Who would you expect? Who would you like as a manager to maybe come in and carry it on afterwards?
I think he is going to go eventually. If he goes this summer to Spurs, say, hopefully he doesn't. But if he does, because I know that they're not stupid, they've got to have looked at him and been interested. If he was to go this summer, we were talking about it on my podcast a couple of weeks ago, the idea of him possibly going. And it's a random one, but I truly would be very happy with Nathan Jones from Luton. He is a bit of a club legend in that he played for us a long time in his career, and he has done excellent stuff at Luton in the Championship. He fits the mold of what we want to do. They play good football. He's happy to go through the youth setup. He knows the club inside and out, and he's incredibly affordable compared to, your bigger names that, we're not going to go hunting for a massive name to take over. We're not going to go for a Nuno.
Arteta?
We're not going to go for an Arteta. We're not going to be able to pay them the money they want. We're not going to be able to go for one of those players.
He's got no experience. You could just say, look, you're getting 2 million, and that's the end of it. Right? You're getting one year experience in that. That wasn't exactly a good show, was it? So,
yeah. So I don't think that. I think we'd be looking towards the Championship, and I genuinely reckon we'd go for someone of that level, and Nathan Jones at Luton, just because he's so good at what he does, and I think he would do well, but. In terms of Potter, I actually think he'll stay this summer at the very least. If you want my full prediction, I have a strong feeling that we will sign a striker this summer. And I think we'll probably finish in the top 10 next year. And I think with that finish, Potter will go somewhere else because there will be 2 or 3 clubs that will be desperate to get a hold of him at that point. I think we're just lucky that we didn't have a goal scorer before this one. Because I think he may well have been top of Spurs' list. And I think we've just got lucky that we didn't have the right player to score a bunch of goals for us this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one for the quid spent. If you spent 500 quid on the store to help the loan problem, then God help you. I'm gonna meet Stan in the person in a dark alley with no one around me to hear the screams. So it can help the club, of course. Why else would I do it? I don't condone violence, but it'd be a bad shout, would it? Just give him a word in. Just rough him up a bit, just to say that oi, sort the club out. Yeah. Man, this season's destroyed me. Honestly, and what's worse is there's another season coming.
At least you've got the Euros in between.
Yeah, with Southgate. Yeah, okay, that works. Well, this is Southgate or Arteta. I don't know what's. Southgate's better. He gets to a semi-final and plays well at times. I mean, like Arteta doesn't even know half of what he's doing at times. Honestly, that's where I think we like. If we got a Basuma in, I don't want Arteta anywhere near him. The way he's treated Martinelli, for example, Saka's been overworked. He's probably going to be the one's first pick on the Euros, and he's been overworked. He's dead. He's seen his last performances. He's dead. He's finished.
Yeah.
And he just needs a rest, and he doesn't rest him at all because he needs him to bail him out because he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I don't have any confidence as long as Arteta's in the job and also the Stan Kroenkes are the owners. Like, do you feel this Daniel Wheatfield will go through, or do you think he'll come back with a stronger offer from an outsider point of view, or do you think that's just us hoping for something that's not going to happen?
The Spotify owner, right?
Yeah.
I think the thing is, and it's been talked about a fair bit, and I fully am on board with the idea that these
Because they have
businessmen,
got Vieira and Bergkamp and Henry saying it's all legit and they're all going for it.
I think the thing with people like Kroenke and the Glazers and the others, FSG, they don't care about the club. And they don't care about the money. It's not about the money. They have so much money that they could wallpaper their whole friggin' mansion with their money. Doesn't matter. Their entire thing is about power and status at that point. That's my true belief. And I think that they're not going to sell because in the circles they run in, the Kroenkes, the Glazers, being able to say you own a Premier League football team is that's the pull, that's the allure for them. It's all status and power and reputation. And if they can be in, mansions with their like rich friends and toss themselves off over the fact that they own Arsenal and Liverpool and this and that, and the Red Sox and the Rams and teams like this, like that's all that matters to them. They don't care about the money. Like it's just a side. Like,
well, they care about the money because they could take the money out and give it to the Rams. I mean, that's what the Glazers have done with the Buccaneers, right? Shoved all their debt to Man United so they can focus on the Buccaneers. So
but that says everything you need to know, right? Like that they aren't putting it to the Rams either. They moved to LA because they wanted to make more easy money. They didn't care about actually making a really good team. They just wanted to make cash. So they moved into LA, and that'll be easier to make money off of them there. And that's the Kroenkes in a nutshell, right? Like they're not interested in developing a team to be good. It's all about the easiest way to spend money.
How many billions has this guy got? I mean, I'd just go on a beach somewhere and you never hear from me for the rest of my life. Right? I would be just chilling with my millions, right, on a beach and never have to work again. You never have to work again. You never have to do anything again. Like the whole world, like financial crisis could happen, right? And you'd got all the money in the world to just go, yeah, I'm cool.
Yep.
I'm cool. So what? Right, and just live in Monaco for the rest of your life. So, right, so I don't get why they've then on this mad mission of wanting to make more and destroying football clubs at the same time and screwing with people's lives as well. I mean, there's a lot of fans that they can't bear not going to their club and watching their club every week, and it's I mean, explain it. I think we all know Claude, for example. I mean, Claude was really helped this channel out, and really was. We wouldn't have got to where we were if it weren't for him and his channel. They're starting a fundraising and getting to where we are now without his help, and because he's that sort of person. But he couldn't bear without football, and he couldn't bear not going to games and not going to football clubs. So treating it the way it does, you're sort of messing with that sort of feelings, emotions to it, because the Arsenal fans are always really depressed, and it might sound stupid, but they are, because the club means that much to them. They love the club that much.
Yeah,
and that's what they don't understand. I mean, like most of the times this season is when people have watched this, I'm either laughing, trying not to be depressed about it, or I'm just focusing on something else. I mean, I'll go watch the F1 instead. It's just why would I want to make myself more depressed? It's just I'd rather just watch something else. So whether it's, I mean, like I think with Brighton in a minute, I think you're taking probably each season quite happily in the Premier League at the minute, and do you feel like you want to push on even further up the league and like do what West Ham sort of done in a sense and get towards challenging maybe European spots or the top half?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's Tony Bloom has outright come out and said, him and Paul Barber have both said that the long-term ambitions of us are for us to be a top 10 Premier League team long-term. Tony and the club have a very specific way they want to achieve that. They offloaded Chris Hughton. They brought in Graham Potter and his staff. They brought in Dan Ashworth, who was the chief exec or one of the big dudes at the FA himself. We've changed our entire transfer policy. We're starting to bring in young English recruits instead of just everybody and anybody. We're bringing in Tarek Lampteys. We're developing Ben Whites. We're doing a lot of hard work. We're bringing in leaders like Lallana. Yeah, he was hurt. He's still, played a fair amount of games for us this season. It doesn't seem like it because it does seem like he's injured a lot, but, he's made over 30 appearances for us this year. That's a lot for Adam Lallana, a player that we were told was, crocked constantly. And the entire culture and the attitude of the club is going and pulling in one very specific direction. And you can see it, I'm sure you've seen it online all the time, the XG memes about Brighton. We are so good at creating chances. As I said earlier, we are doing, so well defensively, one of the best in the entire division at defensive, keeping goals out. We're just not scoring enough. And, we invest into the squad the right way this summer that I think we probably would have last year if everything hadn't happened, right? Like if there wouldn't have been a pandemic, I think we'd be a year ahead of where we are now.
The problem is now is trying to keep what you've got and trying to add to it at the same time, because there's going to be there's the big clubs like vultures that want to pick off like the best parts and
I think the club are future-proof built for that way. I think that they are, they don't want Bissouma to go, but they're also not going to hold him back. That's why the transfer rumors of Bissouma handing in a transfer request is just bollocks. It's not true, because the week before, Graham Potter was asked about it at a press conference, and Graham had said, "Of course he's going to get interest. He's one of the best midfielders in the division. We won't hold him back." So why does a player that has been told in front of a press conference in front of everybody that we wouldn't hold him back if the right offer came in, and he plays for Graham, and Graham is very well known as a huge people person. He's a very good people developer. Why would he hand in a transfer request? You don't think they've had that conversation 18 times this season already? Of course they have. We all know he's probably going to leave, and he was probably told in January, if this money comes in the summer, you're more than welcome to continue to grow. Go for it. And we've adjusted and built around that. We've signed Jakub Moder, who's a young Polish midfielder who's been very good this year. We've signed Moises Caicedo from South America, who was, I think he was number 3 or number 6, somewhere around there, as one of the top South American talents, from Tim Vickery, who's a very, very good European correspondent. Who both play a similar role to Biss. We're signing younger players in the hopes that we're almost building like a Southampton model, right? Like build players, except that they're going to get sold, like Bale and Van Dijk and others around them, and use that money wisely and keep building the squad. So I think that we're doing it. We know that Bissouma and people like Bissouma and Ben White will get sold. We are just doing a very good job, I think, in making sure that those players will go, and we will get others in to fill those roles, or we've already got them. It's just a case now of investing in that striker option. Neil Mopai was not the answer, clearly. Danny Welbeck definitely isn't the answer long term. And we've got a couple of other options, but none of them are scoring goals. So we get that striker, and even if Bissouma and Ben White leave, we sign that striker, and I think we have adequate enough cover because of the way we've handled ourselves in the last 18 months.
Absolutely, and that's probably like the main difference is that with Arsenal is that we don't have much in cover, and for example, and that's like the real major issue at this club is we have a certain 11, but there's not much after it. So
Right.
there's so much. I think anyone that came in and bought like the own, even if Daniel Eek came in, he's probably gonna have to sit there and think 200 million I'm gonna invest in that, and 200 million I'm not gonna see it again.
Yeah.
It's that bad, and just gonna run through some comments. We won 2 trophies, the FA Cup and the Shield. We actually won a trophy and a dinner plate, mate. So no, we didn't. We didn't win we didn't win 2 trophies, mate. But if you want to count Community Shield as your level, good on you. Right? Don't call it my level. Remembering there will be only one champion, and it gets harder and harder. I think we stick with the pros and support the club. Don't think we have any other option. No, we have an option. It's called protest and keep protesting and try and get them out. Because otherwise, they will do what they did with the Super League, and they will get their way, and they will destroy football. And it's not down to Arsenal issue here. I would happily go to the White Hart Lane or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'd happily go to the Man United Stadium and the Liverpool Stadium. I'd rather go to the Chelsea Stadium if I wanted to, or the Man City Stadium if I wanted to protest against these owners because they've tried to destroy football. It goes above rivalry for me. And for clubs like Brighton, if we went to a Super League, they'd be finished. The whole pyramid would have been finished. Well, they took all the money for themselves. And was there any chance Arsenal were going to see that money? Of course not. There's probably more money that's going to go to the Rams. It's probably we're probably never going to see that. So we're just going to become like the bottom feeder of the Super League. So what was the bloody point? So yeah, so it goes beyond for me. This whole protesting thing, it goes beyond rivalry for me, and I support as much as I can banter and say I want the Glazers in. I actually do want them out because I want to save football from itself and from these owners. If he might be a troll, yeah, he's not going to get. If he is a troll, he's not going to get a reaction. Right? I'm too tired for that crap anyway. To support the club, yeah, we don't need to make it worse. Yeah, we do. We need to make it worse. We're not going to be in second place in Boxing Day either. Don't know even though the Community Shields were even that one either good do, but I'm not bothered. Yeah, that's the point. It's a charity game, and I like the charity thought because it's the Ronald McDonald House. It's helped me when I'm not well, with my family, spending time near the hospital with us. So that's why I like it being there. So that's probably the only reason why. But yeah, I'll give you a go as your lineup for Brighton, and then your score prediction, and I'll give mine, and then can wrap it up. Maybe open our lines for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're going to have Sanchez will be in goal, of course. I can't see anything changing there. Donkey will be back. He's back from suspension, so he will start. I'm sure that we will start with that classic back three of Webster, White, and Dunk. So that's your kind of your back line. Wing back, pick a card at this point, any card, because we obviously haven't had Lamptey in March for a while. Dan Burn might play out left wing back because he's been very good lately. Michał Karbownik may well get a start. The young Polish right back, left back that we signed in January for a couple of million. He might get a start. Bissouma will definitely be in the midfield. I suspect that Alzate may well join him there. And then up front, it's going to be really interesting. I'm not sure how we're going to line up top. Because, Danny Welbeck's hurt. Mopai is still banned. Trossard will be there or thereabouts. Do we play Connolly? Do we play Zakiri? It's always tough to know with Albion because Graham Potter just has a roulette wheel, I think, and just like picks it every week. He is unlike any other Albion manager I've ever known, where it's just so difficult to predict the 11. I can at least guarantee that we'll have that back four of Sanchez, White, Webster, and Dunk, and Bissouma will absolutely play, and Trossard will absolutely play. Who else plays? Pascal Gross almost definitely as well, because he's become a real live wire with his assists this season again. But other than that, it's really tough. Percy Tau, I'd love to see him get some time. But it's really rough to know who is going to be starting for us outside of that kind of spine of the team.
Okay. For me, I'd say I'd want Matt Ryan in goal. If what's Leno is saying, he wants to lead the club.
Matt Ryan is not eligible because he's still us.
Yeah. So because with that I was just thinking because he hasn't played the previous games. Because if I was the manager, I'd have played him the last few games. If Bert Leno came out and said before, if it was before the Villarreal game, that he was going to leave, I said, "Oh, okay. So you're going to mention that before the game. So that's probably why you weren't bothered when you got knocked out. Okay, brilliant. Because you're going to get European football somewhere else. So it's all good. Same with probably a few others, and I would say." I would have said Matt Ryan, but because to see if he's a decent keeper, but we can't see that now. But we've got, I would say, Bertman in goal. Then I would put, there's a right back. Chambers. I don't even want Bellerin to get a send off. Couldn't care. Gabriel. Marie, I would say Tierney, give him one more run out. So big him up, big up everyone. I'm going to open the lines in a sec for 5 minutes, and everyone can come on and have their say. Then I'm going to do Partey and El Neni, because I prefer that over Xhaka, and Xhaka can not get a send off and bye. It's already right. We can now do what he told us Arsenal fans to do at the go after Crystal Palace. Right, fuck off. Right, you remember that one, Granite? Yeah, back at you, mate. So, yeah, Saka, rest him. I'd play Willian because apparently he's leaving, so he can get a goodbye. Bye. Pepe on the left because he's been doing bits. So I want him to end him on a high. I play Smith Rowe. No, I won't play Smith Rowe. I played Odegaard because Smith Rowe needs a break, and then I'd play Oba up top because he needs to be doing a lot more. So yeah, I'm just gonna run through some of these comments. Whilst Hyde, and I think Brighton will be a tough game for Arsenal. I'm a traditionalist. I grew up with anticipating the Euros and the World Cup every 4 years. Tried to change it where both competitions do it every 2 years. That is insane. Hey, you okay? They're talking about themselves. Beyond in 5. Hi, Stephen. I'll be watching a bit of streams this week. I'm on holiday in Cornwall. I came down on my tractor. He's from Bristol. That's beautiful. So good, mate. And static. It will be less credible and take the romance out of it. Won't mean as much by winning. It was motivated, I think. Yeah. So score predictions before we open the lines.
I think it's going to be 1-1.
Oh, so dull.
I think it's going to be dull. I do. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of those games that's just a bit.
Yeah, I said it would be a 1-1 or 0-0 or something. I said 0-0. I couldn't. No, I think we did score predictions. I think I said 0-0. I think we'll come back to it. I was on someone. I think it was a Richie Sports channel last night saying it, and it was like 0-0. I can't be bothered. Like, I can't. I can't be bothered. Nothing against Brighton. I just can't be bothered. I just want it to end. Like, it's 90 minutes until it ends. It ends, and then next season starts 2 months later. Oh God, and it all starts again in another cycle.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty. I think there's going to be certain players that are going to have their eyes on the Euros, right? Like, and then there's going to be other players that are just trying to just get to the end of the season. To be honest,
going through the motions,
and avoid injury. Yeah. I mean, neither team has anything to play for. Do you have anything left to play for?
Apparently, we can get a Europa Conference League if we win, Tottenham lose, and Everton lose. Apparently,
got it.
But I really don't want to be in it. I'd rather just take the year out for my own personal reasons. We've got Mike, Man United fan, with us. How are you?
Not bad. Unlike Arsenal, our last game in the season doesn't mean anything because we got a cup final to prepare for. So, sorry, Stephen. But how are you?
You come in here. I let you on for 5 minutes, and what do I get? I get insults.
I have to. Wednesday is the biggest game last season.
No, you don't. I'm gonna remember that when I come on your channel. Right? Anything you want to ask?
Yeah. But hang on. If Villarreal score, don't expect me to read your comment, Dave. But yeah. I actually think Brighton are going to win this. I've said an Arsenal loss for the past 7-8 games, and I think Arsenal keep winning, which is annoying because I keep backing against them, and every time I back against them, they win. So for your sake, Stephen, I'm going to say a 1-0 Brighton win.
Cheers, Mike. I'll blame it on you then.
Basuma screamer in front of Don Robbie.
Oh yeah. I see that happening. Oh god. Any questions you want to ask Brighton together? Be it. What's your name? Sorry.
Josh.
Josh. Sorry. Josh. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Anything else you want to ask?
Yeah. Can we have Basuma, please? You'll take all. We'll give you Phil Jones or Fred. We'll give you one of them. Good players, quality players. Just need about 20 world-class players around them, and then they might be all right. But we'll give you a straight swap. Basuma for Fred. He's Brazilian. He is Brazilian. I don't know how, but he is Brazilian.
Yeah, I think for United, Basuma would make you a much better team immediately, but you're gonna have to get in line with everyone else, mate. Everybody wants him. I think we'll be able to. Well, I think he's gone. Like I said earlier, like I've no doubt in my mind he's going to sign for someone, whether it's you, Arsenal, City, whoever. But yeah,
hold the phone. You can get you can go and get Jack Grealish. We can't. Get out of here! No. You go get Jack Grealish.
We can attract Ronaldo. We can attract Ronaldo.
No, that's paper talk. That's crap.
All right. We'll take Sancho as a backup option then.
You didn't want him.
Yeah, I'll have him if he's going. If he's going, I'll take him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you'd have him when he's going, but then you like the owners, wouldn't you?
No.
Your dream boy, isn't it?
No. Joel Glazer. The only place Joel Glazer gets near my head is towards the edge of it because I want to push him off a cliff. But we'll leave that for another story or another show.
By the way, no violence is condoned here on SFeatleyTV. Everyone's opinion is their own.
Apart from the Glazers, if they ever come on this channel, I won't be afraid to share my emotion.
How about Declan Rice? You can have Declan Rice. We'll have Basuma.
No, I'll have them both. I'll have them both.
No, stop being selfish.
Declan Rice is a starter, Basuma as a backup.
Do you mind?
We'll give you Fred. We'll give you Fred. You can have Fred.
You see what I'm doing here? I'm desperate. I'm desperate for any...
Yeah, have Fred then. Have Fred. He's good.
I don't want Fred. I'd rather someone that can pass back to the defence.
He's Brazilian.
Not pass back to his own goal. Right?
Yeah, he's in the Brazil team for the Copa America as well.
I don't know how he does that, to be honest.
Your team, Manchester United, become a lot better if they had a midfield duo. Take out McTominay and Fred and put in Basuma and Rice, and you have a much better team immediately.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Pogba on the left, Bruno at cam, Sancho on the right, and Cavani up top. give us the Premier League title now.
Technically, you could get Frankie de Jong, can you?
Well, no, I don't want De Jong. There's something about De Jong. His temperament is.
Come on.
No, his
You want De
temperament.
Jong. I'd have De Jong.
Arsenal will get anyone.
I'd take De Jong, mate. He's proven Champions League.
Yeah,
Top quality.
His temperament is something that I don't want, because that's just
Ronaldo off the bench. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's if it happens, though. That depends if Juve. Do you think that would happen if Juve? Because you'd have to leave Juve if Josh. You'd have to leave Juve if Juve don't qualify this weekend for the Champions League. So
come on,
for
Napoli.
financial and sponsorship reasons.
Come on,
do you
Napoli.
feel? So do you think that could be an option? Because he has said about in the papers that he wanted to go back to Man United.
Yeah, I reckon it's all set for him. And do you know why I reckon it's all set? Because the Glazers, no one will be on the Glazers' back then. Imagine Ronaldo number 7 on the shirt next season. But they'll bin off Cavani because they have no sort of thought for the fans, so they won't care how much of a impact, not just for the fans, but on the team Cavani's had. And they'll be like, oh, look at this, Ronaldo number 7, he returns. Think of all the commercial deal we can get from this. Everyone's singing about Ronaldo, buys the new shirt, and then forgets about the Glazers. And then December, when Ollie gets sacked because he didn't get a CDM and a centre back, it all starts back up again. And then everyone immediately then is Glazers out again. I'm like, where were you last 3 months?
Yeah. But I'll just ask Josh. Josh, what do you think? Do you think that could happen at all?
I mean, yeah, it won't surprise me. If he wants out, which it sounds like he does from all the paper talk I've seen too.
I think it's because of sponsorship deals and reasons. That's why.
Man United is such an easy signing to make. You know what I mean? Like it fits their bill already. Yeah, it just seems like such an obvious signing for them to make if they wanted to do it. And if he wants to go back, and they're going to be playing Champions League football, why not? And he gets to play. And he gets to play with his fellow national team. You know, Bruno as well. It just seems like a no-brainer for me. Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, if Nana's gonna come on, looks like it. Nope, then I'm gonna wrap it up there because it's been over an hour. So
actually, before I go, I just want a question for both of you. I know because I don't do previews, but what do you think the prediction is for Man United Villarreal on Wednesday? Honest, Stephen. Just because you're salty because you're not in it. Honest.
Honestly,
yeah. Honest with your head.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Good evening.
No, I asked for a prediction.
Good evening.
I asked for a prediction. Two numbers separated by a dash.
2-0 Villarreal.
I think 3-1 United, I think.
2-0 United I'm going for.
Emery's a specialist.
Stephen, man, stop.
He did it with Seville.
I like your optimism.
He didn't do it with you, though, did he? So he ain't that special.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll give you that one.
He would have needed a financial takeover to do it for Arsenal.
Do you mind? I have to put up with him every week. It's bad enough to get it from him.
Yeah. Don't antagonize me. I'll push it even more. Yeah, but
I know you
2-0, I reckon. 2-0, I reckon, for United.
Yeah, that's 2-0 to 2-1 Villarreal. I'd say. I got this feeling. Emery's that sort of specialist that can do it. I really do. And plus, it's Ollie's first final as well. So it's an added pressure.
Yeah, he's gonna have 100% final record.
Yeah, of course he is.
Honestly, Wednesday.
All right.
Go on.
So if he wins that final, he'll have 100% record. So the only final he's going to win.
No, he's just going to make. He's going to turn into Fergie.
Yeah, of course he is. If you may not notice, Fergie lost the final to be in the Champions League to Barcelona.
Yeah.
At Wembley.
But this is not Wembley. We won bottle in the National Stadium. Gdansk.
Cool.
I'm ready to Gdansk.
Gdansk. Okay. All right. Right. We'll wait. We'll leave it there. Anyway. Thanks for everyone that's tuned in as usual. Do smash that like button and subscribe button. Where can they find you, Josh?
Yeah, at TogetherBHA, just on just about anything. Instagram, Twitch, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, whatever. Just whatever you want to listen to it on. I stream like post-match on Twitch, and then most of it gets uploaded as a podcast as well for every week. So yep, you can find me anywhere at TogetherBHA. Primarily on Twitter, especially on match days. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our match reaction, what is it, about 7 o'clock tomorrow night? So something like that, after everything's all calmed down for the football and everything like that, and the F1 and everything. But yeah, if you're free tomorrow evening, you want to jump on and give us a review yourself? Yeah.
Let me know a time, and if I'm free, I'll definitely hop on.
All right, cool. We'll work out a time then. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And big up everyone in the chat that's come on. Thanks to Brit for the £10 donation. Big up yourself. It all goes to Children's Disease Foundation. And big up everyone that's in the chat, because what you're doing by tuning in is raising money for charity. So big ups to all of you that has done. And everyone that has actually watched the adverts before they came on as well, because that does help as well. So every little bit helps. Thank you very much for that. We're back tomorrow for the protest first, then the F1, then the football, and then the match reaction. So
that's if the protest happens.
Oh, it's happening. It's happening. I'm protesting either way.
Yeah.
So
Arteta in.
No. Let's not go there, shall we? Let's not go there. I'm trying to end this. Anyway, big up everyone, and we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye bye.